let's talk about energy prices and food prices and whether this new trade deal, so $662 million deal that BBM secured from Indonesia from coal plus fertilizers as well, is that going to immediately bring down the costs of energy and food?
I think the visit of President BBM to Indonesia has been successful in a way that the assurance of the supply of coal and fertilizer has been affected. As far as price is concerned, I would think that it will follow the market price. Okay. But it's the supply. The fact is there's a shortage. There's a shortage on the fertilizer, and on the coal side, it's because that early part of this year, Indonesia initially clamped down on export of coal, and then they reopen up, no. And this is where I think the having this agreement or government-to-government agreement on the supply of coal and fertilizer gives us the assurance that we will not be short of those important fuel inputs and also agri inputs.
Okay, but like what you mentioned, we're pretty much, of course, susceptible to price fluctuations in the international market since we're highly dependent on coal imports. Do you think, what's the direction now, at least from the private sector, when it comes to widening our sources of energy here? Are more and more private firms looking at renewables that at least help augment power supply?
Definitely. I think lately it has been highly publicized in the paper that you have the big conglomerates going into renewable energy, the likes of the groups of Mr. Ricky Rason and also the group of Mr. Ramon Ang. Okay, they are going into more solar, more renewable energy, which is good. But aside from that, I think it's even more fundamental for the new government to also look into more oil exploration, and of course, as of late, I've heard that the Congress is tackling the issue of possibly going into nuclear power. But all of these are long term. In the short term, we have to. What can be done is really to improve our grid system. There's an imbalance in our power-based supply. No, there's more of it in the south, in Mindanao. As a matter of fact, there are 2 geothermal power plants that will be coming on stream either end of the year or sometime in 2023. But the grid coming to Western Visayas or further north, no, is not there. So there's an imbalance, and I think that would be the priority now for this government, that to address this muna, and then of course factor in the long term of our energy requirement.
Okay, sir. Let's shift the conversation to investments into the manufacturing and export sector, which of course you sit at the PCCI. The amount was 804 billion pesos secured by BBM in his inaugural visits. Any more color as to where you think these investment pledges are going to be going? Do you hear or do you have the sentiment that there's going to be more investments in manufacturing?
Well, there's always interest in our country from foreign countries, no? The fact that the Department of Trade Industries, one of their objectives is to have more investment in the intelligent or knowledge-based sector, of which we agree. But at the same time, we would, I think it's important for us to pursue manufacturing wherein you can generate more employments. At the same time, the agri sector, agri-agua industrial sector must be looked into. We try to, more often than that, we try to encourage people to invest in our country in the sector of manufacturing, knowledge base, or services. But it's also, I think, at this point in time, we have to craft our laws to allow foreign companies to come in and also invest in agriculture. Although we do have some constraints as far as patrimony on the use of land, but we'll have to think that on the agri side, the importation for our food requirement is high. We are realistic that we cannot produce enough. Now, if companies can come in and help us through investment, through putting up proper irrigation, proper information system, that would really be beneficial to all, because we have the market here. We are 110 or so million in population. The demand is high, so it's better for people to invest also in the agri sector and really improve our productivity. One of the issues that has been discussed about is the agri side of it. Is I cannot blame the farmer because of the small plot of land. No? Ang average ng magsasaka, 1.5 hectare.
Yeah.
Sa liit ng lupa na yan, mahirap kang mag-i-invest ng malaking pera sa kung anong kailangan o sa harvest, irrigation. So it really takes a tweaking of the law to address this issue.
Okay. Now, George, I'm going to shift the conversation a bit here and discuss about mask wearing. You yourself seem to want to at least take things a step further. You told the chiefs last week that at least for you, it should be okay as well to make mask wearing optional even indoors. What's the rationale behind this? And do you actually think that we have enough safeguards in place to warrant making masking optional even in indoor establishments?
Well, I support the pronouncement of the government. I think even President PBBM is inclined to do that, especially after coming back from Singapore and Indonesia, wherein he saw firsthand that these countries are not requiring the wearing of masks. But in the same light of the health issue, we do encourage that people who has comorbidity or are in places wherein there's a chance of being infected because of the close proximity, to protect themselves. And I personally feel that over the past 2 years, that our general population, ang taong bayan natin, careful sila. I've asked people, the blue-collar jobs, even my driver, they are concerned. They don't want to be infected. Baka mahawa yung mga anak nila, yung magulang nila, and they're careful. But we have, the COVID will be with us. Other countries have downgraded, na parang flu na rin. But we still have to be, as I said, the opening of schools, we're looking forward to that. And the proper protocol of rate wherein they're not required to wear masks is, I think, is appropriate. But the school must provide a system wherein they do check. They do check. Same as our company. We're not requiring them to wear masks anymore. But we tell them to be responsible. And we do check them when they come into the office. Yung pa rin ng protocol. Meron yung temperature checks. Chinecheck namin temperature. At saka, but the big part of it is we tell them, be careful. Although you're not required to, but be careful. Kung may naramdaman ka na sipon ka, be careful. You don't want to infect others. So I think that has to be the protocol.